what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Relationship Cheat Code, where we give you the game, helping you to stress less and experience your absolute best in your relationship. This right here is my wife, Iana.
And this right here is my husband, Aize. You're really close to your mic. You look like you want to kiss the mic, babe. Like, look how close you're leaning. So should I be like that? Like, I'm right here.
I don't want you to be like that because you keep chewing the popcorn.
And that's all there, but you're like, should it be like that?
No, it's all good.
And you're going to stop coming for me and my freaking popcorn.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So
this is the Relationship Cheat Code.
We're here for another episode. And as you can tell, it's a little bit of tension between the two of us right now. My wife, she's in a place of resistance.
No, I am not.
Not wanting to yield, fall back, and just listen.
No.
Like, we were actually having a conversation prior to this podcast, y'all, where I was lifting up some ideas about times we could do certain things, and she acknowledged that she has to grapple with her internal resistance. And so that was around that piece right there. That was a work-related thing. That was work-related. And so then when it's time to...
And how we think
and she was having a hard time with that, y'all. And so then we come to the place where we're supposed to be sitting down doing the podcast, and I lift up a simple suggestion that she not eat her popcorn on the podcast because it's going to make a bunch of noise. And so she was like resistant to that. So here we are with another episode, and we're going to process through this.
We're going to process through what?
This right here, this tension, this dis-ease, as we ease on down the road and get into the topic of what we're going to talk about today. And so in terms of where you are with it, do you have anything to say in reference to why is your face like that? See what I'm saying, y'all? Like, you know, this how it be. This is a real relationship, y'all. Like, this is exactly how it be. Like, I'm trying to lift up a point because I'm genuinely trying to push the ball down the field. And do y'all know that sometimes
you're not genuinely trying to push it down the field. No, you're not.
I want y'all to peep this out. So sometimes it's very clear. You got a blocker or a defender that is in front of you that's deliberately and intentionally trying to prevent you from getting to the goal line. That's one piece. But then sometimes, y'all, it may be some invisible resistance, like even the wind is there and it's preventing you or pushing up against you as you're trying to push the ball to the finish line. And so in a situation like what I'm dealing with right here, again, I'm trying to push this podcast episode over the finish line, and I'm lifting up requests to make it just a little bit more professional. And yes, I could tighten up as it pertains to the sound piece, but it's not there at this point. But we're here sitting here, and all I'm asking is that you not be the wind, or you not be the very visible detractor, defender, and eat your goddamn popcorn on the podcast.
I need y'all because to drop it's making noise. Comments. I need you to drop in the comments.
And just like you can parlay for a second. So what I'm saying is that, like,
okay, can I interject?
And then on top of that, when I say the invisible resistance, y'all, I'm talking about the nonverbal, so the facial expressions and all of that. Like, it's just straight attitude.
It ain't invisible. You see my face. I'm not
straight
it ain't invisible.
Straight attitude, y'all.
But let me just say this. I want y'all to drop in the comments whether or not me eat my popcorn is just taking you off your square. Like, you just can't handle it. Like, this is just ridiculous. And for everybody who's going to comment and be like, yeah, I just can't handle it, you probably got control issues just like I
Why they got to have control issues?
Just like I said.
What I'm saying is that, like, you're not considering the impact.
Of the popcorn?
The impact of you eating the popcorn to me.
This literally makes me
You think that your intention is like, that it's all, I'm just eating popcorn. That's all you focused on. But you're not focused on the impact of how it may.
Me eating popcorn?
Yeah, and how it may impact the flow of what we're doing. Yeah.
So I am considering, I think differently than you. Let's point process this, y'all. This seems so petty, but it'd be like the petty stuff it'd be throwing us right in our relationships. And we've been talking a lot, just in full disclosure, we should, because we're talking about differences in the way we do things, feeling like you're not accommodating. You feel like I'm not accommodating you, I guess, right now, because I'm eating the popcorn. But we've been talking about that even in terms of how we go to sleep at night. And, you know, if he's downstairs and I've been upstairs at the beginning of the evening lately, we'll get into that and how that plays out. But I first of all, no, I have not thought deeply about me eating popcorn on the podcast because I don't think it's that serious. That's number one. Number two, this feels very much like, and if y'all been watching and you know, staying with us, there was an episode where you was taking my cup, my mug, and saying, why do you have this lipstick on the cup and it looks tacky and it's unprofessional. I mean, and why are you putting the cup down and you can see the lipstick mark and all of that, right? So we were kind of playing, but it's that same stuff of like you try to control these little pieces that are important to you. And so to your point, it doesn't mean that you're not being impacted, but to my point, when I'm sitting down here and it's the middle of the day and I need to get a little something and I want some popcorn, I need a little something in my system, I'm going to have me something to drink right here. I'm going to have me some popcorn and we're going to do this podcast and it's not that serious. And I'm about to sit here and have my stomach growling and be like, because Ayize doesn't want the sound. Like, I'm not built like that. I'm not rolling like that. Like, I can accommodate and adjust for you, but that's ridiculous. That's doing too much. That's doing too much to me. So
you say it's doing too much
because
to you.
You're saying it's gonna impact the outcome. We ain't even talked about it. Well, I guess we're working through the issues right now. We working it through. I'm like, we ain't even got to the daggone topic, but this really is in alignment with what we're talking about today in terms of just making room for one another and these kind of like petty squabbles that really irritate the both of you in the relationship and how you make adjustments and accommodate one another, but also have some boundaries. And I feel like you stepping over a boundary with me, telling me I can't eat. To hell? Like
so
that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you're not saying you can't.
I'm not.
You're saying, can you not eat?
But that's how you're responding. You're responding like I'm saying. I'm not responding that way.
I think what you're uncomfortable with is I'm saying I hear you saying that we literally, y'all, before we press record to do this, I usually had me putting a piece of popcorn in my mouth so he could hear, which is that may sound really like why are you doing all that? But for the sound, right? I
adjusted your volume.
Adjusted the sound. To me, that's the solution. You said you can still hear it, but not as much. Okay, problem solved, move on. So if y'all hear some crunching, oh my God, this podcast is horrible.
I'm just going to be quiet. So Iyanna talks the whole time and she can't eat her popcorn while she's talking. That's my strategy. I'm just going to be quiet. How about that? How about that?
I don't think it's that serious.
But you said something a second ago that I just want to look up.
It's really impacting you to the degree that, because the impact is important. My intention is not to make Ayize feel some type of way. We talk about this all the time, y'all. Intention and impact. And I could be consumed with my intention. And like, it's not that serious. I'm not doing nothing to you. I'm just over here eating my popcorn. But if the popcorn...
That's how you've been responding.
Hold on. If the popcorn, we use this as an example, is triggering him to death and making him feel unstable and then I need to put the popcorn away.
That's how I'm feeling.
Okay. I need to put the popcorn away. I want y'all to understand that I understand that. We're using the popcorn as an issue, but this could be with regards to any kind of thing that y'all are dealing with in your relationship. Like, you could be like, that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm over here just trying to manage this. And the only reason I didn't talk to you about it is because I'm trying to, maybe reduce your stress, but your partner tells you, but you stressing me out by leaving me in the dark, right? Like, whatever it is, don't focus just on your intention, focus on your impact. But the moment
I'm saying you're trying to teach them, but how about you apply the lesson to yourself?
I am. I'm giving examples of like what that looks like. However, I'm trying to figure out in what world in our relationship and in most, but I'm just going to talk about us today. Why in the world me eating popcorn is just destabilizing you and you off your center? And let me check in with you, because I thought it was more of a you want me to do what you want me to do. Have you not acknowledged in the past that you do be controlling and you have some control stuff sometimes? You want me to do things a certain way, you can be rigid. Is that not a clearly acknowledged thing in this relationship?
There have been times, yes.
Okay, this is a thing for you.
I wouldn't consider it to be a thing.
It's something you know
specifically
about. It's something you know about yourself and that we talked about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm putting it in that category. Here's another thing, point process. The same way everybody got their stuff. We can have our stuff, be aware of it. It can still be popping and we can call it out and we can make room for it. All of that can be happening at once. So I'm thinking, can I believe we still talking about this damn thing? I'm thinking this popcorn thing is, here go another variation of how you talking about turn the cup so you can't see the lipstick, and you shouldn't be eating the popcorn. Like, it is not messing you up to that degree. You're not over there like mentally over the popcorn.
It's distracting me to the degree to where we're having a conversation now about this for like 10 minutes when we could have moved on to something else.
If we weren't on the podcast,
what I'm saying is that, like,
talking about it.
No, I would probably be in a different part of the house right now because I would be irritated with you.
So what is that about?
It's a distraction to me. So just to be clear, I put my headphones on to listen. I reduced the volume to try to minimize, but I could still hear your ass biting and chewing your popcorn, even though I reduced the volume. I can't reduce it but so much because people ain't gonna be able to hear you. And so what my concern is that, again, with you chewing the popcorn, I'm paying attention to that. I'm listening, I'm thinking about the volume, how it's coming across, how it's sounding, which then distracts me. And so I'm distracted and I'm not invested in what it is that we're doing.
Let go of that. You solved it as best we think, and it's best.
Because I want this to be like, top notch. And I know for a fact you said that if it was bothering me to this degree, then you would do something about it. Then do something about it. But I also know too that we was going somewhere else and we was going to be on a TV show. Treat this like that.
So here's where this is where we depart.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if they asked you to not eat the popcorn, you wouldn't eat it.
But this is my
why
podcast.
You gonna do more for them and do less for us?
I don't have to do that on our podcast. So right, that I don't have to. So
you do if you do have to take me into consideration.
Yes, in this particular situation, you're saying it's bothering you, but as a whole, you would say don't ever eat anything. Don't ever.
I didn't say eating. I said the popcorn.
You don't even
like
of the
when
crunch. I be eating stuff on live streams and Zoom things, and you think you've adjusted to that over time. Like I'm not about to be sitting here.
It's the sound, baby.
And not doing it. No, in the past, it's not been the
I'm
same.
saying, but it's the
right now
sound.
It's the sound.
Yeah, but if you were eating something else, I wouldn't have an issue.
I'm just pointing out that you've had this issue in the past, and it had nothing to do with the sound. Had to do with Ayize wants things to be the way you want it to look, the way you want it to look. You think it looks a certain way. But
right now, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about right now. What we're talking about is the sound.
So right now, would you like for me to put the popcorn on my lap over here, and then will you not be distracted anymore? And then let's process the fact that this is causing you so much issue.
Okay,
let's do it.
Hey, what's up, y'all? So we know you're enjoying the episode, but check this out, y'all. We're not just any old random couple that's coming on YouTube every week just giving relationship suggestions and stuff like that. We're way more than that, y'all. Mm-hmm. We're trained therapists and relationship coaches. Yeah. This right here is my beautiful, incredible, sensational wife, Iana.
And this right here is my dapper, debonair husband, Ayize. So y'all, we just want you to know that there is more. We don't want you to just be a spectator. We want you to get in here with us and join our community. We have all kind of folks who are doing their personal work, their relationship work. We have sister circles and men's lounges and trainings, and we address all kinds of things from infidelity to disconnection to communication issues and sex and intimacy issues. Look, the solution is at BLAMcore.com.
Join us. You said, let's do it.
Let's go ahead and
you trying, like you about to come for me.
No, let's do it.
First, let me say this.
Let me put my popcorn to the side and tell me. Go ahead. I'm so irritated right now. Let me just acknowledge that.
I appreciate you, baby.
Okay, I don't need you to do all that because I'm not in a place of receipt, whatever. Can y'all believe that we are talking about the freaking popcorn? But these types of things happen all the time. So I'm not going to keep saying I can't believe because this thing has got me hot up under the collar. I'm doing some deep woosah breathing right now on the inside. And I know this type of stuff happens all the time. So let's just demonstrate our ability to manage this damn popcorn sound. You so agitated and you can't focus and you thrown off and it's taking you to a whole nother level. Help me to understand, what happens for you and what has happened for you during this opening up, whatever. We well into the damn conversation now, but what's going on for you internally that was so difficult for you to be able to pull back and make room?
So I felt like you weren't taking me into consideration. Mm-hmm. I felt like you were dismissing what I considered to be a legitimate concern. I felt like you were saying, I don't care about that. It's not that important. And so it felt like you were minimizing what was important to me. Mm-hmm. And so it was hard for me to move beyond that space without, number one, acknowledgement and even a willingness to making an adjustment, which we eventually did. But
What
also,
adjustment are you talking about?
in terms of like not eating the popcorn.
But I made an adjustment before then. You. I mean, I didn't make the adjustment, but we went through the process of
Yeah, so
listening.
you didn't make the adjustment. I made the adjustment to attempt to accommodate you. And now, so here's another piece. And I didn't even take this into consideration, but because I adjusted your mic, I mean, it should be all good. I adjusted it for the popcorn eating. Now you're not talking directly into your mic.
Would you like me to bring it closer?
You don't have to talk directly into it, but yeah, if you could just bring it a little bit closer, I would appreciate it. That's good.
It ain't even gonna stay.
I mean, that's fine, but
It's like, no, I'm not doing that. Oh, it's a little closer now. That's too close.
Nah,
I feel like it's all up in my face.
I mean, you can move it. I mean, and so you know, so me it was more so about like, it just felt like you were saying like, I'm gonna eat my popcorn because I want to eat my popcorn. I don't care what you say about the sound. I'm just gonna eat it, and you fix it. You figure it out. Like you're just, yo.
Is that what I said?
That's what it felt like to me. It's not what you said.
Okay. What did you hear me say?
But that's what it felt like. And so energetically, it just felt like you were that, not even that win, but that you were just that blocker on the field. That not blocker, but defender on the field, just resisting, preventing me from being able to execute what I'm trying to execute, you know, in terms of bringing the podcast to fulfillment. And so, I mean, real talk, like we just need to hire somebody else to sit behind the dashboard and put the headphones on, and they can make the adjustments. I'm just saying, but then they would actually be able to make the adjustments like midstream and be able to figure it out and give head nods and signals and stuff like that. And so that's also a solution to the problem as well.
Yeah, I would highly disagree.
So even in that response, like it feels like you just want to come. I mean, and so I want to go ahead and
I'm not trying to come. I think,
but energetically, it's just like
I said. I don't agree with you.
Yeah, but the way you're saying it,
I highly disagree.
So why do you disagree?
Did I say I disagree, motherfucker? I didn't. I mean, so you said the way that I
energetically
said it.
You're saying it, though,
baby.
Nah, just it's your energy.
So so my energy right now.
You're angry.
Is what?
You're angry.
I wouldn't say my energy is angry. I'm irritated.
You're irritated.
There's a difference.
You're hot under the collar.
I'm not hot under the collar anymore. I'm irritated. Mm-hmm. Okay. So
you want to make some things plain.
No, I don't want to make some things plain. I'm saying I highly disagree because you're saying, oh, if we just get, somebody to manage some parts, blah, 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 and whatever, it'll be better. That's not the issue. The issue is how you manage from where I sit. The issue is how you and I mean, not just say you, both of us manage disagreement and difference in perspective. There are always going to be contexts and situations where you can have this person do, but at the end of the day, you can have somebody sitting behind the thing and they're asking a question and we both have different opinions. How we going to manage that? And so for me, I do think that we generally do a good job of you lead in certain areas. So if that kind of situation was going on, they would be directing that question to you and you would be giving the answer and I wouldn't even be in that. But I think that you focus in, if you focus in on things, really like the minutia of things sometimes, and that's not a bad thing. But sometimes it can prevent just being in the flow. Like for me, I'm like, we could just sat down here, got into our conversation, and just let it go. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. It's not about perfection. It's the same thing I tell you around any number of things when we're working on stuff. And this a lot of this stuff in terms of our differences, y'all, have to do with how we work differently. I feel like you get pulled and sucked into these details. Details are important depending on what you're talking about. But other times you're agitated with me because I'm not passionate about that detail like you are. Or you're saying you're not taking into you when you said a second ago, I don't care about the popcorn. I guess you said something like you felt like I didn't care about the popcorn making noise.
Mm-hmm.
Can we have a friend moment?
Yeah.
I don't care about the motherfucking popcorn making no motherfucking noise. I don't. But I care about you. But what you want me to do is care about what you care about. I don't care about that damn popcorn making no noise. I'm somebody like, oh my God, that popcorn. Then you ain't my people if you focused on that. You, on the other hand, are like, I do not want, that is not good. That does not come across well. And I understand the importance of those kinds of things. But on this is a personality thing on this podcast. I don't want that kind of a stiff, hello, how are you guys? Come on in the room, and everything is, that's not, I'm just being myself. So if I'm hungry and I want some popcorn or whatever the heck, then that's what it's going to be. So no, I don't care about that in the same way that you do. And I feel like it's not about other people. That's the solution. It's about the fact in this situation and in situations similar to this, you can't deal with the fact that it's not that you can't, but you don't want to deal with the fact that I just don't care about that as much. I don't think it's that big a deal. And the way that we have y'all in the past for our own relationship, and then also working with other people, the way we kind of say, how do you deal with things that are where you all are just kind of two different ways? It's usually things that are much more complex and much more of a thing than eating some daggone popcorn on the podcast, okay? But the way we always talk about it is, who is it more important to? Who is it more important to? Like when you just kind of bumping heads and you just like can't see eye to eye, you all just have differences in perspective. Y'all shouldn't make that a thing. You're going to be agitated, but you're going to see things differently. Like that's just going to be the case. Y'all are not going to agree on things. There are going to be things that y'all just don't see eye to eye on. That's just par for the course. So being agitated by that in and of itself is you not understanding the game you in when it comes to relationships. I think that's where you landed though. You're like agitated by the fact that like, I'm like, you say you're not making room for me. You don't care about how it impacts me. Like, I'm really like having a hard time believing that this thing is really rocking your world like that. I think that you just upset because you were upset anyway, because you wanted me to do what you want me to do. And you want me to see it the way you saw it. And from where I sit at any given moment, and this is not just for us, I see this in other dynamics, other relationships, right? When it comes to, the subject matter, at what point do any of us pause and ask ourselves, me included, because I've been there, but I don't feel like I was there today. I feel like I was like, it's not that serious. And then when you like, it is that serious, I'm like, well, let me put the damn popcorn down. Okay, if it's that serious. I don't believe it's that serious. I think you just want me to do what you want me to do. Like, at what point do we pause and say, is this really that serious? Or am I in my ego? Or am I like, I'm in my feelings? Because I've been there. This, to me, this ain't like I ain't been there, and ain't like I don't be there. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, you just like this is the thing that's like, you just being special. That's just what I think about it. You got a problem with this lipstick right here on my straw? Is there anything to do when we wipe it off? Are you feeling triggered?
Passive aggressive ass, Joe. Like, so it was that serious to me.
Okay.
I wasn't in my ego.
You were not.
I was feeling flustered and flooded with emotion because of what I perceived was a dismissal of how it was impacting me. And so again, it's not about me trying to control what you do. I'm thinking exclusively. You said I'd be myopic. And so I'm thinking exclusively of the podcast, the execution, how it sounds in the mind. Like I'm thinking about the quality of the experience to the viewer. Mm-hmm. And so in my mind, I'm overly concerned. So probably, again, overly too much concerned about what the impact may be based off of you chewing into the mic, to the degree to where, again, I'm just so distracted that I'm not present here in this moment with you. And so, when I saw you put the popcorn down, and even since that period, I mean, initially I could tell, you were in a space of, you were boiling internally. And I
was boiling?
You were boiling internally. and
I don't know if you want to say boiling.
Nah, you were. It was a low simmer. It was a
okay. It's a little simmer. I was irritated.
Yeah, you were irritated, and however, even in your space of irritation, you made room to hear me, and you were obedient and put the popcorn.
I know your ass.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. But nah, you basically heard me, and then you sat that down. And so I appreciate that, babe.
I know you do.
I really did. I was just playing with the obedient comment.
I know you think you were.
I can't play. Like, I'm just saying, boo. Like now you about to go ahead and sit on that piece right there. When I was really playing.
Put a point.
I was really playing.
I'm just gonna put a little point on that. Even though we think we're playing, right? Even though we can be in just right. Like I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that what my husband said is true. I receive what you said. I receive what you said about the fact that you really are focused on these things, and it's kind of like sometimes where I'm kind of the lead on certain things, and then you're like asking me questions, or you're saying what about and why, and I'm like, well, this ain't the time for that, like because somebody got to take the lead. We can't do this, right? Not at this point in time, and I'm pretty sure that's where you were, like, just do what I'm asking you to do.
Yeah.
So I received that, and however, he also want me to do what he tell me to do. You want me to do what you tell me to do, not just because of that, but like you not paying attention to what I'm saying, woman. Like just do what I tell you to do. I know that's in there too, and so sometimes
like, shut up, woman, and just listen. Do what I say.
Yeah,
something like that.
Yeah, you don't never say that to me.
I'm just saying, but you ain't got to make it a point to say I don't never say that to you.
I do have to make it a point.
Why?
Because first of all, we're having a conversation on a podcast, and it's not like I'm trying to posture, but I'm also while I can demonstrate my ability to be flexible even in the midst of irritation and put the popcorn to the side, I'm also going to demonstrate my ability to set boundaries about, like, let's be clear, like that's not what you do, because everybody else don't necessarily know that.
Yeah.
So I want to be clear about that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the conversations that we have, we're teaching and we're sharing, and there are a lot of people who go off or would never put the popcorn down and be like, I know you lying, and I would probably be like, girl, he tripping. You know what I'm saying? I'd be feeling, but at the end of the day, sometimes you just got to do stuff. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, there are other women out there who will just, like, okay, and they just like, let me just do what my husband said.
Yeah.
This popcorn thing, it keep popping up in my head that this is probably about the pettiest example we could be giving. But I hope that, just from us sharing and talking.
This is good though. Like
that we can shed light just on it be small stuff, but the feelings, you know what I'm saying? The feelings of, like what you said, feeling dismissed. And like I'm not making space for what you're trying to do. I think the dismiss piece, I heard you on that. Because I was kind of like, it's not that serious, right? That's probably the worst thing you can say. This is not that serious, right? So I'm automatically doing that. So I recognize that. Me feeling like, oh, here he go, being extra and trying to make me do things a certain way. I'm not here for it.
You were recognizing that you were being dismissive?
Huh?
You were recognizing that you were being dismissive?
That's not what I was just saying. You want me to go back to what I was saying before what I'm saying right now?
Yeah.
Yes. You want me to park there for a minute?
Yeah, can you apologize for being dismissive?
I can. I apologize for being dismissive.
Thank you, babe.
You're welcome.
Why were you dismissive?
Because I was just like, I ain't got time for your shit today. That's what I was feeling on the inside. And so that was just personally how I was feeling. Like, I ain't got time for your idiosyncrasies. Like, it's not that serious. Adjust the shit. Sit down. Let's go. That's just how I was feeling.
Yeah.
And I wasn't. And I also, in the grand scheme of things, this goes back into y'all, like, how important is it to the people? That's one of the ways that, again, I said it earlier, that we figure out how to work through small stuff like this and really big stuff that's much more important. Who's it most important to? I honestly assumed, I made an assumption, that you also you knew it wasn't that serious. Like, it ain't that serious to me about no daggone popcorn, and you know it ain't that serious. So come on, let's keep going. So I did make a discovery in the process of our talking that for you it was that serious, not just because about the popcorn in and of itself, but because about the whole production process. So I just made that assumption.
I made a discovery too, though.
What was the discovery?
That in processes like these or in experiences like these, it's important to really figure out ahead of time how you'll process game time decisions. And so, or pre-game decisions. So like in the sports world, sometimes there may be a player who got injured and they'll say on the sports sheet, the reports were coming out saying that they're a game time decision. So it's not clear as to whether or not they're going to play or not going to play. And of course the team probably already knows which direction it's going to go in, but there has to be a way in which we process whether or not you do it or don't do it. And so the discovery for me was around certain areas, like it's important for us to, like maybe around eating food, drinking, doing certain other things when it comes to the podcast. Like if it's something that's supposed to happen that you make a decision that you want to do in a moment, like what does that game time decision-making process look like? So what conversations are we having off camera to determine whether or not we move forward or don't move forward? Like there should be there should be some agreement in terms of what direction we go in versus just trying to figure it out in the midst of things. So I think that discovery of like just have a way in which you process and maybe some questions that can be asked and just figure out like, is it really that serious? Is it not that serious? And then I fall back, you fall back, whatever it needs to be done in order for us to move forward so that we're not disheveled. Well, I don't think we were disheveled, but just so that we're in a better space or in a decent space.
You was disheveled.
Yeah, I was. So we're in a decent space when we actually start. So for me, that's one thing. But another piece too, babe, and I just want to give you kudos. The way, so your irritation increased my agitation. And well, it didn't increase it, but I felt even more agitated as I witnessed your irritation. And so,
you talking about before we started?
No, I mean during the whole process of starting and then while we were talking. And so when I think about that, I also noticed a shift that when you made the decision to put the popcorn down, you softened your energy, your tone, the way that you were engaging. Even in terms of like what your explanation was and how you were feeling, just the way you started speaking energetically, it felt different to me. And I noticed myself starting to calm down. And so you have an impact on me and the way you expressed yourself, the way you just sat in the pocket for a second and regulated your energy, like that was dope. And it was soothing to me. It was settling to me. And so I appreciate that, man, because I know this was significant to you. You were irritated and I know you feel what you feel. I'm not trying to change how you feel. Like I know you don't give a fuck about the popcorn. And but even with that feeling, you still shifted in the way you showed up for me. And I appreciate that.
Oh, thank you, babe. Thank you for the thank you. So I think I said earlier, I said something about we've been in these conversations lately. We were talking about that with like, going to bedtime. I know people have difficulties with going to bed and, are you coming to bed now? Are you not coming to bed? And all that kind of stuff. I feel like we were talking earlier today about one of our programs and how to put it out and what our show up will be and what you'll do versus what I'll do. And there's things that we have to do together and you feel one way and I feel another way. And, just kind of reflecting on all of those things.
Bedtime routines and all that.
I said that. You weren't listening.
I wasn't. I'm sorry. I wasn't.
I think one of the things that we do well is we talk about it. You know what I mean? We just talk about how we're feeling.
Yeah.
In the midst of the feeling. And there are times when we may have to pause. And I'm just saying this to y'all who are watching, there are times where you may need to pause and come back or whatever. But and that's okay. Like, you need to do that when you need to do it. But being able to like get to a place where you can be very like with each other and whatever, irritated, whatever the case may be. And again, this is just one example of, many different ways that can look with many different levels to it. I think is the goal. I think that's the goal, y'all. The goal is to be able to get to a place where you can have the conversations you need to have. You can not be perfect in your expression. Like I was being dismissive, and I don't know if there's anything that you feel like you was doing, but I guess not. I guess you feel like, I'm not gonna. Anyway, let me keep moving. So, their
Wise
things,
choice.
huh?
I said wise choice.
Wise choice. Okay, yeah. I'm just all I'm gonna do. Lord, Lord, Lord. I'm just gonna sing a song and do some deep breathing. Do some deep breathing. Do some deep breathing. So what? Okay, let me just stop. Lord have mercy. Okay, so what was I saying, y'all? What was I saying? The goal is to get to a place where you can have the conversations and feel an array of emotions from, here to here, back down, back up, and you can, ultimately, as my husband said, and I appreciate that acknowledgement, you can self-regulate. You know what I'm saying? You can self-regulate and be able to get to a place where you still may not agree, because if that's not clear, you ain't been listening. I don't think we agree, but we understand. I understand where he's coming from. I'm not sure if he understands where I'm coming from, but
I do.
The understanding is there because he has not articulated anything to that degree, anything to that in that regard. You don't need to. Please don't come and try to do it now. Okay. Don't come and try to do it now. I'm just highlighting that. I wasn't even thinking that, but in the moment as I'm talking this out, I'm like, I think I've demonstrated some understanding. I'm not really sure that you've done the same, but you have showed gratitude for what I've done for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, baby. I do. No, I really do. I really do. I mean, real talk though. This type of conversation, y'all.
This how I have to sing, have to hum through some of my, that's some of y'all need to do that. When you start, I'm sorry, but just real quick, if you feeling a little like, instead of doing or going back into a place, just sing on it, just hum through it. That's all you gotta do sometimes. Deep breath, and you be over it.
That's a great coping strategy, baby. So what was I gonna say? I was gonna say that I definitely understand. I know you say I don't have to, but
no, I don't. You don't need to.
No, I'm just saying I do understand. I literally do understand where you're coming from.
You don't have to say anything.
And I know that you don't. You don't care about like eating the popcorn. I know that piece, and I also know and I understand that you think that it was about control, and that you also think that I wanted you to do it the way I wanted you to do it, just for the sake of the fact that I'm trying to like massage my ego, and I understand all of that stuff.
But that's all of that stuff. And let me just say this is you're articulating an understanding of how I'm feeling and in reaction and in response to you in this situation. Like, you don't care about the popcorn. You think that I'm trying to control whatever, right? But there's levels to understanding, and I don't think that I think that what you were able to share with me was like, I'm trying to like think about the production and the whole, like, just kind of where you are.
Yeah.
I don't know if you actually even have any, and it ain't deep, but you haven't even articulated to put your finger on where am I and what am I trying to experience in my own way and in my own world, not in reaction to you, but the same way that you have a process and that you have a way that you want to do things. I have a whole setup over here that I can't even touch half the stuff over here because my husband, like I bring my little blanket, I sit down, I have my little, very commonly I have a snack. I always have something to drink, right? And, I got my little phone here, my kids, but like I have my own little way of doing things. So I don't think that you captured that. I have a walk in the podcast and how we roll out and do things the same way you do.
I like that.
So that's a different
So I
level
missed
of
that.
understanding.
I missed that.
As you often do. What did I do?
I missed that. And real talk, there is value, an immense amount of value to that, because without that, like it's the spice, it's the umph, it's what
you talking about?
What the things that settle you, the things that allow you to feel you're cozy and feel comfortable and to create the ambiance.
So this little area over here is that y'all can't see the area, but this area I'm pointing to has my little snacks and my little drinking, and I got my blanket and I got my phone. I got a little stuff over here.
And you actually said before we came on, you said everything pink. Like you got the pink this, you got your little rose colored laptop.
Everything, yes.
Yeah. So I didn't peep
but
that.
This is not a one time. This everything over here.
Yeah.
Every time we have a conversation, you say what you bringing, what you doing, right? That's me and my mojo, in my flow. So we've had this conversation prior to now, in various ways.
So you feel like I'm minimizing your mojo?
I don't think you're minimizing it. You're not even aware of it because you're not even thinking about it. You're just like, you don't even see it. But I hope that today you've made that discovery, even though we've had this conversation a number of times. But I think it came out because you're like, yeah, I know, I understand. You don't think, but you're making everything about you. I'm not just trying to push up against you. I have my own way.
So I appreciate you shining a spotlight on that for me so I can see it even more clearly. And I'll definitely make room and
don't make promises you can't keep, babe.
No, I mean really make space for it, because again, the other piece, like around the sounds and stuff, I'll work on figuring that out. But you're right. I'm exclusively focused on production quality and the mechanics of it. And so I'm not thinking about some of the things that you're thinking about. And that's an error on my part, because again, that enhances your experience. That's you. And so I don't want to dismiss or even minimize you in the experience because I'm like saying, don't do this and don't do that, when those things are fundamentally like a part of your essence and what gives you that umph and that vibe that you're looking to experience on the podcast. It's our podcast.
This is just day one of your. You didn't know this before today?
Nah, I mean I didn't pay that much attention to it, but now
I have bought it to you.
So I know that you do certain things when you're trying to set up, but I just haven't paid as close attention to it.
But I have talked to you about it. I mean, we haven't had this level of conversation, but when we bumped heads on this before, and I have shared it with you.
Yeah, we've spoken about it, but now I'm paying more attention to it. Thanks to you. And so I'm sorry for boxing you out in this experience. I love you.
I love you too, baby. This has been
another episode of the Relationship Cheat Code. Yeah.
We hope you got something from it. Just remember that if you don't stay engaged, if you don't stay in the conversation, if you do not stay in a place of constant reflection, making space, advocating for yourself, having good boundaries, and also being flexible all at the same time, then you ain't gonna really be getting anywhere. So sometimes what doesn't feel good doesn't mean it's not good for you.
Yeah.
And going through the process of being in a relationship with this man right here, this wonderful man of mine, and through all of these janky ass conversations. And I'm just saying janky ass because they get on my nerves. But I love my boo. I love my boo. And I wouldn't do it with anybody else but him.
Oh, thank you, baby. Can I have some popcorn?
No, you may not. ready to get to my popcorn. Everybody, have a good one. We'll see you on the next episode.
Peace.